All right, Gordon Parks, 1912 to 2006, one of the world's greatest photographers. All right, so we have 37 honorary degrees, over 100 awards, National Medal of Arts in 1988. He wrote 19 books, The Learning Tree, 1965, over 60 printings, Choice of Weapons, 1969. We have directed 11 films. They're based off The Learning Tree. We have Shaft. We have Shaft's Big Score. We have Lead Belly. And we have music. We have scored 3 films, composed works for piano and orchestra, composed ballet entitled Martin. All right, I can't wait to listen to that later. The Exodusters, born in 1912, the youngest of 15 children in the small segregated prairie town of Fort Scott, Kansas. His life's work and philosophy was most influenced by his parents, who were tenant farmers. His mother died when he was 15. He went to live with his sister's family in St. Paul, Minnesota. His uncle-in-law put him out during the winter, and he barely survived on the streets. Oh my God, Jesus. Gordon worked in a brothel, toured with a band as a singer and a piano player, cleared forests, worked as a railroad waiter, and was a semi-pro basketball player. All the while, he read voraciously and taught himself to paint, sculpt, and write prose. Becoming a professional photographer during the 1930s, Parks became interested in the photographs taken by Farm Security Administration. He saw in the periodicals like Life magazine. We have FSA, government agency set up by the President Roosevelt to aid poor farmers. These photographers documented the plight of migrant workers, the destructive climatic effects of floods, the Dust Bowl and storms in the Midwest, and poverty in the South. And here's that. All right, we have Dorothea Lange, Walker Evans, and Ben Shine. Migrant Mother is the title of this picture. And we have Parks purchased this type of camera, this Voigtlander camera. He used it to take this photo. His style technique was eye for detail, formally arranged composition, strong contrasting shapes, strong light and darks, chiaroscuro. Emphasized narrative elements. All right. The early fashion photographs caught the eye of Marva Louis, wife of heavyweight boxing champion Joe Louis. Taking her advice, Parks moved to Chicago, a larger urban area, for context for fashion photography. Parks started working with Southside Community Art Center, one of the Negro community art centers established in the WPA's Federal Arts Project program. He became friends with Charles White, who encouraged Parks to document the surrounding Southside neighborhood. Parks was the first black photographer to win a Julius Rosenwald Fellowship, to spend a year portraying the Negro in his intellectual, professional, educational, social, farm, and urban life. Parks used the money to move to Washington, D.C. to train as a documentary photographer with the Farm Security Administration under Roy Stryker. Roy Stryker pushed Parks to document racial strife in D.C., talk to people who have lived in the city all their lives, and document their experience. Gordon Parks encountered a great deal of racism and segregation, describing Washington, D.C. as a southern city where discrimination and bigotry were worse than any other place I had seen yet. Watson, Miss Watson was a custodian who worked in the FSA building. Her grandfather was lynched and her husband was accidentally shot and killed. Then her daughter died in childbirth, leaving her with 3 grandchildren and an adopted child to raise. He said, and he titled this portrait of her, a strike against intolerance. And he asked for consent, to take her photo. Parks posed Miss Watson with a broom and a mop in each hand facing the camera, head somewhat bowed and eyes downcast. The result was one of Parks' most famous photographs, giving birth to his reputation as a renowned photojournalist documenting social issues. All right, and here's some more. And here's more Ella Watson catching a bus. She was a devout Christian. She belonged to the St. Martin's Spiritual Center. Parks documented the strength of her faith as seen in the performance of rituals and the sanctuary in St. Martin's Church, as well as the altars in her home, documenting the working class and living conditions of the urban poor in D.C. Frederick Douglass Housing Project. Mother watching her children as she prepares the evening meal. And we have Negro woman in her bedroom. All right. Harlem. The doll test. All right. Fashion photography. Parks took his pictures to Harper's Bazaar. Marvelous. But we are a Hearst organization forbidden to hire Negroes. Roy Stryker advised him to see Edward Steichen, who sent him to Vogue. We're going to have you have to give you a chance. Parks worked with Vogue and Glamour. All right. So we have Vogue, 1953, and I love that dress. Period. We also have these photographs. They look cool as hell. All right, and we have Life Magazine. Parks still working for Vogue when he went to Life Magazine offices and asked for a job. Wilson Hicks, the magazine's editor, told him to get out. Bitch ass. Parks asked him to look at his pictures, and Hicks asked, did he have any ideas? Parks replied, gang wars up in Harlem. And blah, blah, blah. The fashion editor needed someone to photograph the Paris collections, and the story editor needed someone to photograph an essay on crime. So we have gang warfare, Harlem Life. Parks built up trust between himself and Leonard Red Jackson. Parks never saw Red until 40 years later in 1988. Red had survived to be a neatly dressed middle-aged man of 56 years. We have Daylight Rumble and we have Night Rumble. Pause to read the excerpts. Parks felt his work captured the vulnerability of the young men. Parks influenced the choice of images chosen for the story. Parks refused to allow Life magazine to publish the pictures of Red with a gun in his hand. Red Jackson and Herbie Levy studying wounds on slain gang members' face. Maurice Gaines. And pause to read the story, but it's really sad. We have some more pictures from of the gang members, specifically of I think that's Red. Yeah, I think that's on Red. All right, and we have Life magazine. Again, we have more photos. Spanish fashion show, Maxine Cotes Alain de la Falaise, Paris. Gloria Vanderbilt and Gloria Vanderbilt. Oh my god. I thought that was another title. Anywho. Then we have some more pictures, including Marilyn Monroe. And we have Ingrid Bergman in Stromboli, Italy. We have Life with Eartha Kitt being the star. We have Alexander Calder, Alberto Giacometti, Duke Ellington with Billy Strayhorn and Aaron Copland. Yikes. Alright, I'm going to stop this video here and pick back up in the next one.